and guests, welcome to our 5th grade production of our Dude Ranch at Flatbush, Gulch. This story takes place during the Wild West days of the upper frontier of the 1800s. It is a vaudeville-style play and is meant to be overly dramatic and corny. There is a hero, villain, lady in distress, along with the ever-loving and concerned mother.
Please feel free to clap and laugh at the funny parts. We want to see and hear your enjoyment. Now let's get started with the 5th grade production of the Dude Ranch at Flatbush Gulch.
Scene 1.
Setting, the modest All-Smith living room.
Patience, my dear, will you add a little more wood to the fire? But Mama, we have no more wood. I used the last of it this very morning. Oh dear, I don't see how we can go on. Your poor Papa left us without a cent when he passed on to his permanent resting place. But Mama, he left us the Dandy Dude Ranch. The ranch? Yes. But what are we to do with the worthless Dude Ranch? We need horses and cowhands. Even your Papa couldn't keep this place going. How do you expect us to? No, the Dandy Dude Ranch is without no value to us. But Mama, Jewel thinks he can get the ranch to pay. And he said after we're married, he'll take care of both of us. He will ward off the cold and ward off the creditors and ward off the pestilence and Jewel good really couldn't ward off a house fire. Mama, how could you say that the name of the man I'm going to wed? Jewel is kind and gentle and... Yes, I know. I'm sorry, dear. But you must admit Jewel is a bit dense. But if you love him, however, and no other man is available, you may have my blessing when the time comes. What's that kicking at my door? I'll see, Mama. Hello, Sheriff John.
Good day, Mrs. All-Smith. Good day, Patience.
Where did you get that wood, Jewel?
I cut with my own hands up by the creek, and I'm outside.
Thank you, Jewel. You have been a help to us in these trying times. Patience tells me that you have a plan to save our ranch.
Yes, ma'am. I figured with a little advertisement we could get the cowboy wannabes to be part of a rodeo and cattle roping contest. That'll bring in the money and cowhands you need for the Dandy Dude Ranch.
Yes, Mrs. All-Smith. That's true. Jewel has asked permission myself and the town council to do the advertising. Now I'll get the permit ready at the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Jewel. You are our last hope. Take this, Jewel. This is all we have left. Our icebox is bare and our taxes are overdue. I hope your plan works.
I'll do my best. I better go now so I can get started on the advertising. You won't regret putting your faith in me, Miss All-Smith. You won't be long now till we're married.
Oh, Jewel, I'm so happy. Mama, now we have a chance to save our ranch. If it's a predator, tell him to go away. Really bad guy.
Good afternoon, Mrs. All-Smith.
What is it this time, Mr. Whitfoot? You know I don't have any money to pay you.
That's just it. Your taxes are so far in arrears that the bank does not want to wait. I'm sorry to say that unless you give us the money in 2 weeks, you'll have to pay.
But that's impossible. Where do I get the money in 2 weeks?
If I may make a suggestion, you could probably make all the money you need if you sold the Dandy Dude Ranch.
Mr. Quickbuck, I promised my husband on his deathbed that I would never let the ranch go. And a promise is a promise.
But the ranch is worthless to you.
I would rather lose the house than lose the ranch.
Have it your own way then. However, as your banker, I must advise you that you are being very foolish. Outside in my buggy right now is a gentleman who wishes to buy your ranch.
I'll speak to him, but I won't sell the ranch.
I'll call him. Mr. Turmoil, will you come in here, please? Miss Thompson? But Mr. Quickbuck, you misinformed me. You said we were dealing with an older woman. But I had no idea that she was such a wonder of reserved beauty. And an ageless Madonna, a fresh dress and pretty. make this little wrist squirm. If you don't come back with me, I'll see to it that your mother will be turned out into the cold. Mr. Quickbuck will get this house, and I'll get the rest. Now, will you save your mother from the fate of being turned out into the cold, cruel world?
No, I prefer the cruel, cruel world to a life with the likes of you. I do not trust you, sir.
All right, my proud beauty. All I ask for is one kiss. I must and will have one kiss before I leave.
No, I'd rather die first. Please unhand me, sir. You're hurting my wrist.
Kiss me, you flower of Babylon.
Please, sir, let me go.
Let's return tomorrow. Anyone up with you? Fool.
Tried to kiss me.
Have no fear when Duel is here.
The Samson of Flatbush Gulch, the champion of womanhood.
Aw, shucks. You don't have to say all that.
But I mean it. You just tell me when you want to get married, and I'll be ready.
First, I must work the rodeos. Now, let's go.
Hurry back. Duel's working hard on the rodeo. Oh, Mama, what are we to do if Duel doesn't do well? Well, we can always select to that kind gentleman from Missouri. Gentleman? That cat tried to kiss me. Oh, my poor daughter. I shouldn't have left you alone. I figured as a last resort that we could sell out to Mr. Turmoil, but now I'm not so sure. I don't think he can be trusted. I think we ought to do a little checking on Mr. Turmoil. Checking? But how? Sheriff John will know what to do. Why don't you go into town and speak to him before we decide anything? What will I ask him? Just ask him if he has any information on Jack Turmoil of Missouri. And if Mr. Turmoil is a dishonest man, the sheriff will find out. Give him a description of Mr. Turmoil, too. And pay no attention along the way. And above all, do not talk to strangers. No, Mama, I won't talk to strangers. I'll go and do my best.
Sheriff John. Afternoon, guys. This is a lot of work preparing, but I think I'll finish in time. Then maybe the Danny Dude Ranch will be saved and Patience will agree to be my wife.
Well, good for you, Dua. The pertinent guy may become huge yet. Well, gotta mosey along. Be careful this hot sun, son.
Yeah, Duel, don't let that pretty shimmy get away.
Oh, yes, Duel. I'll show you a great wax someday.
Thanks, Sheriff. Goodbye, gals. Listen now, I saw a hero. He's over there.
You can't go through with this. I may agree to a slightly dishonest business transaction, but this is too much.
You're in it too deep already. You can't back out now. Quickly now, get the shotgun out of the wagon.
This is murder and I refuse to go through with it.
Now let's get one.
fool. If he'd paid along with me, he'd be a rich man instead of a dead baker. All I do is give Mrs.
got me out of the way just before Mr. Turmoil fired.
Duo, you saved. Now we can get married.
First, Sheriff, arrest that man.
With pleasure.
Not so fast. Step aside, Sheriff. I'll just take care of this cat.
No, Duo, no.
So you think you're a hero? Hey, Duell.
Thank you, Duo. You did well.
Yeah, Duell, you saved the day. The two marriage for old Mrs. Allstar.
You're a hero, Duo.
And thus never fear when Duell is here.
Our Lady in Distress, played by Marin Brestig.